Welcome to On the Way to School, your 6-minute daily boost for educators and administrators. I'm Christopher S. Dennis, and today, let's elevate our journey together. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the ride on the way to school. I hope you are in good movement and motion today. I am, on this Tuesday morning, it feels like I worked out or something, and I know I didn't. So it just tells me that all of the excitement of getting school going and starting the year is really in full effect. The body starts to react in its own ways, and you got to push through. Did hit that snooze button a tad more than I wanted to this morning, but still excited to hop out of bed and get to be a part of a great school community. And I hope that you are too. I hope that you have that bounce in your step. And hey, never forget, summer, we did have it. We did have the summer. So today I want to talk about just the ways we can use data and information to support our decision making. In some cases, there's the strategic planning that groups and organizations do, and it goes in the binder and sits on the shelf. There's the parent survey that folks take, and it goes in the binder and sits on the shelf. It's the performance review or 360 that's just checking the box and goes in the binder and sits on the shelf. But if you are a healthy, thriving organization, you're going to leverage data for decision making and make some things happen off of the data. So one thing that's really important to think about is how you can use the data to make decisions based on that data, not your intuition. Okay. And for me, it's actually, it's something that I have to consistently hold myself accountable to, because I feel like I have really good intuition. And if I have a couple rounds of using data in really good ways and feeling productive, I may feel like I already understand where the data is taking me. But as a researcher, you know that if you do that, you've diluted the study. So it's the same thing when you're doing surveys and gathering information from your community. You can't jump to the end. You can have kind of an idea, a hypothesis. You can have your intuition and you can state it, but you have to hold off from taking action until you've actually gone through the data to see what it says. So case in point, we have a number of different survey tools at work, and one year we used our survey tool to interview and get feedback from our whole community. And it identified that there was a subset of our population that just was not doing well. And that kind of data set told us that we needed to ask better questions. It said, hey, you're not paying attention to this group of people in this particular way. So you should get more curious about what's happening here, because they're not necessarily raising their hand and saying that there's something going on, but the data is showing it. The survey responses are disproportionately singling out this group. So we were able to make a plan to try to address that. And in my case, I think I overcompensated for ways to correct that. I went for a whole school approach to correct an experience of a portion of the population. I think we needed to take a whole school approach, but I probably should have spent the time working with the group who I was identified first. So the data gave me information to make a decision. However, I still could have sifted that data down a little bit deeper. And once I knew who the target population was, got even closer to the information. So, just because we get a couple comments or some feedback doesn't mean we need to do a wholesale change up of something. You can sit in the moment and keep getting closer and closer and closer to the root of the issue, and then be efficient with your decision making and your actions after that. Another opportunity came, we have different conversations with families and caregivers. And, sometimes, you put a survey out and you don't get a lot of information back. So you can end up making a decision based off of 4% of the population's feedback because the response rates were low, instead of really thinking about, well, this is a 4% response rate on this one survey for this one meeting. do we need to make changes based off of that? Okay. Your intuition will pull you into saying people are mad, everybody's frustrated. And that's not necessarily the case. That's the portion of folks that chose to respond had this to say. The portion of folks who didn't respond, we don't know what they're saying because they didn't respond yet. So you got to find more ways to get that feedback. So again, take a look into the data that you have, the tools and the resources, and use it to make decisions. Now, if you are not going to use it to make decisions, then do not give the illusion that you're using the data and the information to do so. You want to be as honest and transparent as you can. And that comes with having to show your work. So if you're not ready to do that, be honest about it. But a healthy school absolutely does. So some things to think about on the way to school. I'm going to sip this coffee and get it together because I'm planning to have a great day on the way to school. Take care, folks. Thanks for joining me on the way to school. Stay inspired, stay motivated, and keep making a difference. I'm Christopher S. Dennis. See you tomorrow.